Is ready to spray lacquer from O'Reilly's the ultimate budget paint job hack? I got no idea, but we're about to find out. This stuff comes in at about $38 a quart, which easy math makes it about 160 bucks a gallon. So then all in for base coat and clear coat, you're in for about 320 bucks. Is it worth it? I don't know, but we're about to put it to the test. This is a 1980-something Monte Carlo that belongs to a friend of mine that's been in primer for quite a while, so he brought it over to me. Wanted me to put a paint job on this thing to get ready for an event that he's going to in October. He just wanted the car to look a lot better than it does now. So I actually traded the labor on this paint job for a 1967 Chevy Nova that I've been trying to get my hands on for years. So one day he hit me and he was like, hey, can you handle the bodywork and paint on this car? I'll give you the Nova if you can get that done for me. And so I'm literally just trading the labor for the car. He bought all the material and everything. So we got a little bit of work to do, and I'm going to show you guys that. But this car had trim on the side, so he wants to do away with all of that. So I'm going to do that and body work it tonight. That way we can final sand this thing and get it painted tomorrow. So y'all can see right there on the fenders and stuff. I got some welding to do, and then I also have to grind down all those little clip pieces. So once we get all that done, we'll actually go ahead and just skim everything with body filler, block it out, get it in primer, so that way we can call it a night tonight, get out here tomorrow, sand everything, get it in the booth, and hopefully get it sprayed with some of our budget paint. It's already midnight. We're just now getting started. I had a lot of things to do today, but that said, we're going to go ahead and get to work doing some welding, some grinding, some body work, and all that stuff so we can get out here tomorrow and get this thing actually in one color looking good. So we're going to get to work right now. All right, well, now that all of our trim holes are welded up and all of our little tabs are cut off, it's time to sand this whole thing down with 80 grit, get some body filler on there, get ready to block it out and primer. The bodywork is finally done on the places that we are working on this car. I should go ahead and let you guys know I'm not bodyworking the entire thing. He did not want me to take the time to guide coat and block out the whole car and get it absolutely perfect, because at the end of the day, it is a drag car. Scratches are going to happen, chips are going to happen, dings are going to happen. That just is the nature of the beast. So he basically just wanted me to take care of what was obvious and then pretty much get the car in one color so that it looks much better than it does sitting in primer. So that said, now is coming the part where I'm probably going to upset a bunch of you guys, because I'm not going to mix up primer in my gun and spray on this thing. I'm actually going to prime it with a turbo can of primer. And before you get mad, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I've had, believe it or not, really, really good luck spot priming and things like that with these turbo cans whenever it just really didn't make sense to mix up primer in a gun and spray it and then have to clean a gun and all that. This actually works pretty well. It's acrylic or lacquer or something, but sands out, actually, believe it or not, really nice, and sands just like a 2K primer. So works well, sprays out the same pattern as my gun, and I don't have to clean the gun afterwards. So anyway, now that I've finished all the body work, I've got the tires covered up. I'm not going to have to cover up everything else because, again, these don't create a whole bunch of overspray. So that's really nice. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead, break out the old turbo can, get the bodywork spots primed on this. That way I can get out here tomorrow and sand this thing. And I will say, this is night 2. I was going to go ahead and do all this last night and hopefully sand and paint today. But your boy put a little bit not enough hardener in the body filler, and it was taking absolutely forever. I sat out here for 2 hours. It was still not hardened, but it was hardened enough tonight to sand. So anyway, that's done. We're going to get primed. We're going to go to bed, and then we'll get back out here tomorrow, get her sanded, and get her painted. right, guys, there it is. 3 good wet coats of Turbo Can primer on each side of the Monte Carlo where we did bodywork. So it gives you actually a pretty good build for what it is. And again, I do 3 like super wet coats, so that way I know it builds plenty, and I wait honestly about 10 minutes in between. I didn't get all those coats on camera because, well, it just makes for a boring time lapse. So anyway, 3 good wet coats. That's gonna sit tonight. I'll get out here tomorrow. I'm gonna block this down with a block, and then we're gonna wet sand the entire car and get it ready for paint. And then whatever spots go through, we'll hit with a little bit of sealer and all that stuff. So no need to worry there. This thing is gonna turn out absolutely phenomenal as long as our base coat is decent. I have no experience with the product that we're gonna be using, so this is gonna be a learning experience for all of us, and we're actually gonna see how this works. This will be my honest reaction. Not a product that I usually use, so I'm actually pretty anxious to see how it turns out. But that's it. I'm gonna go to bed. We'll get back out here tomorrow. I'm excited to see how this thing turns out. Well, we got the Monte Carlo all body worked up, and all of our old trim holes and trim tabs and everything are successfully deleted. Went ahead and off camera blocked the primer down, and everything is looking good. So next thing for us to do is go ahead and get this joker sanded. It's getting late afternoon, so we're probably not gonna get it painted today, but if we get it sanded today, we can get it in the booth in the morning, tape it up, and go ahead and get it sprayed, and then finally be done with this thing. So that's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna hit a couple spots with some 320, and then we're just gonna run over it. We've got 2 DAs going. Hunter's actually here today, thank God, so we can speed this up a little bit. And that way he can work on one side, I can work on the other. We'll get both DAs going. We'll knock this joker out pretty dang quick, wash it up. That way it's ready to go in the booth. I'm ready to see this thing in color and ready to see it completely finished and see how that O'Reilly's paint does. So we're gonna get to work, and hopefully this don't take very long. Days later, we're finally in the paint booth with the Monte Carlo. Everything is prepped and ready to go. We're just getting everything taped up now, getting all our windows covered up and all that good stuff. So it's getting close to time to find out what this O'Reilly's paint is really all about. The only thing that I am gonna do is I am gonna take some sealer that I know is good and go over a few of these spots, like where, you know, maybe we got a little bit thin and close to the body filler and all that. So we're gonna hit that with sealer, and then a couple other places so that I have everything good and covered and protected. So we'll shoot some sealer. It's gonna sit for a few minutes, and then we'll break out our ready mixed base coat, which I'm pretty excited to check out. And the owner of this car actually brought a Black Widow Harbor Freight gun, so he told me to use that. I'm pretty excited to see how that works because I've heard great things, and then I've also heard some negative things, but I'm ready to form my own opinion. So pretty excited about getting all this stuff mixed up, getting this joker sprayed. So I'm gonna do a little more taping, and then we're gonna get some stuff mixed up, get our sealer sprayed, and then get ready to actually start making this thing turn blue. So I am going to throw in, I did not do the jams. I remember talking with the owner of the car. He had said something, I know it was him, I believe it was, I think, I hope I'm not getting it mixed up with somebody else, but he had said it's just a race car. He was going to spray the jams black, if I remember correctly. So I'm not going to paint them right now. He may change his mind, and if he does, then we'll just go ahead and address those jams at a later date. So not doing the jams, just wanted to throw that out there. So anyway, I'm gonna get finished taping and then shoot some sealer so we can get ready to shoot some color. Well, we got some sealer sprayed on the car, and I'm gonna go ahead and warn you guys ahead of time before we make this thing nice and shiny. As I was spraying the sealer, I started to realize that this car is nowhere near as straight as it looked in primer. But we were told, just focus on what was obvious, and none of what we're gonna see once this thing gets shiny, it was obvious. So we worked on the trim tabs, welding up all of those holes and all that stuff. We had several hours in that. All of that stuff is straight and looks absolutely phenomenal. So we're good with that. But there are some spots on the car that are not perfect. But again, this thing was never meant to be perfect. This is a race car that is just going to be one color and look decent from, I guess, from the stands or from 7 or 8 feet, something like that. It'll look all right. It's straight enough that it's going to look all right, and at the end of the day, it's a classic Monte Carlo. So this thing's got to sit now for about 45 minutes to an hour to let this sealer cure like it's supposed to, and then we're going to come back in, we'll tack cloth it, and then we'll go ahead and start spraying our O'Reilly's paint with the Harbor Freight Black Widow, which I am super stoked about. This is a combination I've never used before, and so I'm pretty excited to see it. So anyway, I'm gonna go cool off because it's 115 degree heat index today. I'm gonna go cool off. We'll get out here. We'll shake up our O'Reilly's paint, maybe add a little thinner, pour it in the Black Widow, and we're gonna get this thing turned blue. Well, moment of truth. All right, boys, well, base coat is laid, and before we even clear this thing, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys I am not a fan of this ready to spray base coat. So to begin with, I sprayed it exactly like the directions said. I sprayed it mix it up, stir it up, pour it in the gun, spray it between 30 and 40 PSI at the gun. No big deal, done that a million times. So that's what I did, and I sprayed it on just like I spray every other base coat, and I've always tacked in between coats of base coat with a tack cloth. So going into this car got washed, this car got blown off, this car got tack cloth, it got taped up, and then it was tack cloth again before we ever sprayed the first coat of base. And this junk looks like you stood back and threw a handful of sand in it. And before you think that it's the booth, it's absolutely not the booth, and I'll tell you absolutely how I know. Here is the car, and honestly, looking at it from 5 or 6 feet, it looks fine. The stuff covered actually really well, but if you get up close, you can kind of see it right there. Look how textured that is, and it's all over the car. That started with the first coat. After I came back to tack cloth after the first coat, it was catching my tack cloth, and I could actually feel the sharp edges. So it stemmed from the first coat. I spent the next 2 coats absolutely chasing it, trying to get it to lay down. And like I said, it looks okay, and clear coat might save it. I really don't know. It's ready to spray clear coat as well, and I just don't know what kind of build that's gonna have or how it's gonna flow out or anything else. But that is how the car turned out. And so the first 2 coats, I sprayed it exactly like the back of the can said. Third coat, I thinned it, and I actually mixed up 600 mLs of base coat and 150 mLs of thinner for a total of 750. And tried to do that, and maybe that helped a little bit, maybe it didn't, but I sprayed the spoiler dead last when I realized what was going on, and you can see how different that is. So it is absolutely not the booth that caused this to lay out like this. It's not trash, anything else. It is literally the first coat of base coat and how that laid down, because it laid down perfect on the spoiler with it mixed at basically a 3-to-1 ratio is pretty much what that was. So wish I had done it with a whole car now, but I was following directions based on the can because I've never sprayed that stuff before and have absolutely zero experience with it. So that's what we got with the car. That's what we got with the spoiler. So the only thing we can do now is go ahead and clear it and see how it looks. I really could go back and sand this whole car again, but it's going to be what it's going to be. We're going to go ahead, go pour up the thinner. I'm going to thin that. I'm going to thin it 10%. Yeah, I'm going to thin it 10%. And then we're going to shoot it. We're going to see how it does. We're going to hope it can save it, but I'm not confident. Well, boys, this is officially the worst paint job that has come through my shop. I have never painted anything that has turned out this bad. Everything I've painted has turned out pretty all right. So, yeah, this is awful. So I'll just tell you guys before I show you, but this car looks like it hasn't even been clear coated with this paint. Just as fast as I could spray the clear coat on there, it was like the base coat was just sponging it up, and it still looks like it's in base coat. Actually, matter of fact, now it looks like base coat that I spray out of regular stuff, because you know base coat kind of has a little bit of a sheen to it till you clear coat it. That's kind of what this looks like. This literally looks like base coat right now, but it has clear coat. 1 coat, because that's all the material that was brought to me. So anyway, not that it would have mattered. This needs to be sanded back down and it needs to be redone, to be completely honest with you. But that's not my call, not my decision. Anyway, I'm going to show you guys this, and then I'm going to show you the wing, because the wing actually turned out okay. And then I'll tell you my thoughts on the O'Reilly's Ready to Spray paint. So this Joker really did not change much from the base coat to having, honestly, what would be with regular clear coat, a really, really wet coat of clear. I sprayed it on, in all honesty, pretty heavy. This is, I'll tell you, this is 3 quarts that is on this car here. This is 3 quarts, literally. All over the car, 3 quarts. It should be so much wetter than that. But with everything that we had going on with the base coat and then followed by the clear coat, this is what we got. But I'll take you over here to the spoiler. You can already tell it looks a million times better. But you can look at that, and it has a little bit of a shine. A couple of coats, and it probably would have looked okay. But I actually have formed an opinion on the O'Reilly's Ready to Spray paint, and I think I got this figured out. In all honesty, you guys see I painted a little part right there with the base coat followed up with the clear coat. And my theory is it's because you have no control over the mix of the Ready to Spray paint. So what I mean by that is, so it just is what it is. But if you were spraying a small part like a motorcycle gas tank or a fender or a spoiler or even a mirror cap or something like that, something that you could spray and keep wet, then it would probably be okay. You could probably get it to flow out. But like this car, you can't move fast enough or put out enough material to keep the base coat wet the whole time. So then you just end up dry spraying, and I think that's where we ended up with our texture, was because it's mixed, I guess, kind of hot, and so it starts almost curing immediately. Like, I can already touch this car and I sprayed it not even 5 minutes ago. That ain't right. So, in all honesty, I guess it would have its place, but as far as I'm concerned, it don't belong on a car. So the unfortunate thing is we have hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of work in a paint job that turned out looking like that. And it is just a solid reminder of why I don't use customer supplied materials. And this is a friend of mine. This car belongs to a friend of mine, so at least it's not a customer, so to speak. And so I can call him up and tell him we got issues and we may find a way to fix it. I really don't know. But it ain't gonna be with this. So anyway, that's unfortunate. I have absolutely worked my butt off on this car for over a week to try to get it ready to paint, hoping that it would turn out looking a lot better than it does. But it's unfortunate. This is what we ended up with. But with all that said, that's gonna bring us to the end of this video, and I absolutely hate O'Reilly's Ready to Spray paint. But if you guys enjoy content like this, make sure you check out that video right there, because YouTube thinks it'd be the best thing for you to watch next, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. We'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.